Metal Slug.
The cream. All right. Thanks, Angel Food Ice Cream, for the sponsorship, even though I think the company went out of business in the 80s or something. Liberators Reforged had heed Sigmar's call with the first miniature of the new edition. In the hour of direst need, Sigmar has thrown open the Ruination Chamber and called upon his last line of defense. Veteran Stormcast Eternals know more than a few reforgings away from losing themselves entirely. To a Legends Warscroll, no doubt. We'll see plenty from the Ruination Chamber shortly, but these grim heroes aren't the only ones heading into the warp stone-poisoned depths of Blight City. They are joined by ranks of bold liberators, stalwarts of Sigmar's cause from the very first days of the Realm Gate Wars. Oh shit. Apparently there's a video, which I think we can... Video watching. Wow. You got the, like, movie intro soundtrack. Okay. The big faceplate into nose thing on this helmet ruins the entire model. I hate to be so negative here, but it simply ruins everything. There's probably helmetless versions you can use, but I think the helmets are actually cool. Sad. Otherwise, kind of nice, you know? Almost looks like there's a human in here, although one with an unbelievably skinny waist. Got that H-bod. Pauldrons they can physically see over. Dapper shield. Humongous World of Warcraft hammer-sized weapon. Alright. Yeah, I don't like the nose thing. Nose thing ruins it for me. Basically like a Primaris Stormcast, isn't it? Instead of the bulky, goofy cartoon shit, they're like, what if they were from Modern Warfare 3? You know? Alright. Yeah, don't like the nose. Looks like the Colossus from Shadow of the Colossus. The Knight, you know, number 3. Ahem. Clad in gleaming Sigmarite armor. Oh, can we talk about how this is not a Hammer of Sigmar? It's the silver one. Which Stormhost is this? Help me out here. There's a lot of Stormhosts, and I cannot remember. Hallowed Knights, is that it? I didn't think this day would come. The world has changed. Hallowed Knights, perhaps. The poster boys now. Copium. Extreme Copium. Anyway. Wide Fridge Frazetta-esque Cube Cast versus Svelte Runway Cast. Let's go. Oh, hey, this helmet's good. Look at this. Yo, good helmet, though. It doesn't have the stupid thing. Maybe we're saved. Maybe it's okay. Yeah, maybe just for the edition. True. Only the faithful. New Liberator wears the sleek Thunderstrike Armour, first seen in the spear-wielding Vindictors. From the Dominion box, first crafted by the Smith god Grungni to help Stormcast souls punch through the cursed skies, conjured by B. Lakor. More and more, the Sigmar's warriors have been reforged with this mighty Armour, as fighting across the realms intensifies. Thanks for the follow, Bolter and Blade. Appreciate it. This Liberator wears the Kalowers of the Hallowed Knights. Oh, I should have just kept reading. Look at that. A fervent Stormhost famous for their rousing battle cry. Oh no, it's that one? Jeez, I was more in touch with my video than even I thought. They focus their efforts on purging lands of corruption, warding off unclean energies with holy litanies, and their expertise will be sorely needed in the wake of the Vermin Doom. Liberators are the towering rank and file. Alright, great. Hey, that's great. Okay. Don't like the nose thing on the helmet, otherwise good work. Comically large World of Warcraft hammer. I say World of Warcraft, but they have stolen from each other since time immemorial, although WoW stole it first. But still, that's just a taste thing. Do you like huge ass weapons or not? I do, personally, but... Bolter and Blonde, eh? No, I'm bad at reading people's names first time. Bolter and Blade. Apologies. Yeah, size does matter. Chris Metzen, a huge Warhammer fan. He's posted all his armies on his Twitter. Yeah, for sure. True. Let's check out how building your army has changed. I want that 4th edition. Give me some 4th edition info. We've already given you a taste of what's changing in the new edition of Warhammer Age of Sigmar. Dug into what modular rules mean for you, and I didn't give a fuck at all, because as a normal player of the game, I'm gonna just be using all of them in the tournaments that I go to. Good luck, whoever, for what modular rules you'll use. I can tell you right now, if you're like casually playing the game, probably getting rid of the battle tactic mod, because they currently just are anyway. And talked a little bit about the knife edge decision making behind the priority roll. Yeah, also the as a note on the priority roll, it's sticking around. Good, I like it. It makes the game interesting, to be honest. And if it was out, they'd have to redesign everything, and the game would be completely boring and easy to predict the results of. But the way they balanced the priority roll has me thinking that they didn't do anything. And let me explain myself. The common wisdom in general with the priority roll right now is, if you win priority and you could take a double, never do that. The only time you take the double ever is if it will literally win you the game instantly. Like right then, you table your opponent, it's fucking over, right? Or you're losing so bad that you might as well take it, and then you still probably lose, right? Otherwise, you give it up. You always give it away so that it's you go, I go. That's like the general consensus right now for double turns. So what have they done to make the priority roll more balanced or whatever? Well, what they have done is, if you take a double turn, you can't score battle tactics. Well, we weren't taking it anyway, unless it was literally winning you the game. And so that just reinforces what everyone was kind of already doing. You don't take it unless it wins you the game. You have to consider the fact now that you won't be scoring battle tactics during that extra turn. But, you know, okay. And for casual players, who are probably the ones who complain about double turns the most, I would assume, they don't play with battle tactics, for the most part. And since they don't play with battle tactics for the most part, this priority roll change means nothing to them. So that's weird. They essentially did something that looked like it did something, but really it didn't really do something. Which I guess is better than getting rid of it or screwing it up, but it's weird. Why? Can you go in further into that? Oh, what part, Rhino Rancor? What part of that? How do you feel about leak for potential Chaos Dwarves in AOS? I hope it's not true, Fazaroon. Because Chaos Dwarves is a stupid idea that look dumb and are boring. And I think it would be an awful idea for a new army added to the game. It sounds like a great idea for the old world. That sort of ancient, stupid hat, propaganda poster from 1941 looking ass dwarves. Only ever a resin Forge World product that nobody bought forever. with molds broken halfway through that they never fixed. It sounds like the perfect army for the old world, and not Age of Sigmar at all. We already have high-tech dwarves. They're KO. You give KO like a train that has a cannon in it, and there you go. It's like, that's the only cool part about the whole thing. I really hope it's not true. I really hope what they don't do is add a brand new army to the game. I hope they fill out 12 of the armies that would really like a second wave, and only have like 6 boxes to buy or choose models between. I hope they finish their plate, in other words, before they order dessert. You know, eat your vegetables. We got some fine cast in Ogres. We got KO, Idna Deepkin arguably, Fire Slayers for sure. We got a lot of armies, even Doc maybe. We got a lot of armies that are waiting for their second wave that right now are feeling a little sparse, even OBR. Don't bring me some new army, especially not from some ancient crap. Sorry I'm so cruel with the Chorf people. I don't mean to be so mean. But it's just so boring and stupid, and all the old art and all the old models are so bad. There's just nothing there, I don't think, that's interesting at all. And Chorf posting is incessant and non-stop. Ooh, did you see the one sentence from the side game lore thing? But Chorf's next? Chill. I hope not. Anyway. I hope you get what you want for Christmas, but it's in the game that it fits much better in, which is TOW, not AOS. I can think of a lot of, I don't know. Long story short, yeah. Heywoah, the double turn. Don't take it unless you will win. Why is that? Surely not out of kindness. No, I mean, it's a game, it's a versus game, right? It's not a collaboration. It's not a co-op. It's you versus somebody else. You're trying to win the game, right? With the win conditions. So, if you take the double turn early, now later on your opponent has the opportunity to double you back, which is a danger, a concern. And you want to take 2 turns in a row when it matters the most. You know, set it up, right? One of the first things that happens generally, this might not have happened to you. Remember when you were learning to play Age of Sigmar? One of your first games of Age of Sigmar ever, first one, 5th one, whatever, you probably got double turned on the second turn of the game at some point, right? And then they went twice, they killed a whole bunch of your stuff, and you were ready to concede, you the new player, because you just felt like, I lost. My opponent's been playing for 38 minutes, all my shit's dead, I want to give up. But you didn't, and you kept playing the game, and by the end of the game, you actually won. And you're like, man, I really was ready to concede when I got doubled on 2. But actually, when I played all the way through the game, it turns out I ended up winning. That's possible. You essentially don't want to be on the other side of that. You don't want to double too early, and then now your opponent can get you on turn 4 or something, or climb back. You want it to be over. And going second each battle round is really the ideal place to be. If you're always going second, you're always the one who could take 2 turns if they wanted to. Otherwise, it's you go, I go. And you go, I go, what could be more fair, right? It's easy to predict. Anyway, mostly for like these, for at least early tactics and stuff, that's kind of how it works. You, every time that you lose one model, I am ready to concede, yeah. He never learns, but he always wins. The ideal place. Cut out the bit where you eventually won, but you're right there with you. Okay. Alright. Which armies got retired? Beasts of Chaos. Bone Splitters. And a chunk of Stormcast that they're going to replace half of with new models. Bone Splitters, everybody knew. Beast of Chaos, kind of a surprise. long story short, elevator pitch. I talk about it in my new video. Turn 3 double when everything is locked in melee is generally how games end. Yeah. Valentin Puchkarov. Yeah. The different doubles are colloquially referred to, like the turn 2 is considered the damage double, and turn 3 is considered the points double, or even turn 4. And the points doubles are the real closers, because they happen later. Do you think the double turn works better in AOS than it would in 40k due to smaller amounts of shooting in AOS? Yes. The double turn would be a nightmare in 40k. 40k is a sci-fi game. Tons of shooting. It's a shooting game, as you would expect from Future War, right? There's just not a lot of shooting in Age of Sigmar. The more shooting there is, the more unbalanced the double turn probably is, right? In 40k, it would be a nightmare. But it's a different game. So if you lift a mechanic up from one game and just dump it in another, it's probably going to be problematic. You know, you got to smooth it, or maybe it's not, doesn't even belong, you know. And I guess it depends on how much Alpha Strike there is as well. Just like, for instance, in 40k, if you charge, I'm told you get to fight first. And in 40k, if you charge with like 4 units, all of them get to fight first because they charged. That would not be okay in Age of Sigmar, conversely. Because everybody's a melee army, just about. That would be obscene in Age of Sigmar. So, you know, there's different mechanics for a different style of game. I mean, I would like, as Beast Claw, I'd take that role in a heartbeat. Oh, sure, let's go. I'll charge 5 monster trucks into your army. They all fight first. You die. I don't. Shake my hand. I don't know. It'd be pretty good, but. Heywoah, why do you reckon ogres got through the call unscathed? You're happy, but you can't help but feel it'll be short-lived. You would think if they were going to do it, they would do it now. But you could say that about a lot of armies and a lot of situations and time periods throughout this game. I just don't know. Somebody from Games Workshop watches my videos, and now they like ogres, and that's why. I don't know, I'm just making shit up. We could be. I talked about at the beginning that ogres, for all intents and purposes, are... like, they could be next, right? It's all fantasy models, a bunch of fine cast... no AOS stuff, really, model-wise, in the army. Aside from terrain, which BOC had, it could have been us. Could have been us. But it's not, and so, alright, I'll keep playing the game. Nice. Maybe it means, hopium, that we're getting that ogre refresh, just like Seraphon and Slaves to Darkness got, or whatever. In the current edition, armies require at least 1 leader unit and a minimum of 3 battle line units, or 2 for 1,000 point games, or 4 for 3,000 point games, which I was just in a tournament for at Adepticon. The Arrow Shirt Man. Hey, whoa, did you see that they've already put the discontinued models in the shop with last chance to buy tag? Yes, I did. Which is nice of them. They're letting us know a year ahead of time. Good. Better than a week ahead of time, which is all the time most... historically, most stuff had to, you know, so fine. I don't know why someone would buy it when it's no longer going to be supported, but maybe they want to play TOW, I don't know. Along with other restrictions on Behemoth's reinforcements and so on. You can slot your units into various battalions that confer bonuses, such as the ever-popular Battle Regiment. That's because it's the only one that does fucking anything. Which allows you to deploy up to 9 units all at once. As the player who finishes setting up first is rewarded with the option to take the first turn, you have to balance low drops with list-building flexibility, creating tension between picking exactly what you want and seizing the first turn tactical advantage, or giving the first turn to your opponent tactical advantage, as the case may be, and often is. Yeah, that's cool. If you rolled randomly to see who goes first, then priority would be less skillful, which is nice. I'm looking for those battalions. Ahem, to get a little souped up. Ahem. Fab Alien. GW can retire however many kits they want if it gets you plastic Ratling guns. Well, I think that's happening. They alluded to something like that happening. Escaping to get in the refresh. Some stuff might go, but it seems like refresh happening. So there is that. Switch hats, sure. We'll go big. We'll go big. Do you remember AOS Monster Truck season? That could have saved ogres. That and ogres are cool. Yeah, I think they're pretty popular. I have no way of proving this. They have the internal data, I don't, you know. But it's probably a popularity contest in some way. They are a business. They're trying to sell stuff. Stuff doesn't sell. You know. It is what it is. It would be their fault that it doesn't sell, but it doesn't matter whose fault it is. It's just what happens. It's going to, you know. Sometimes searching for fault is kind of a red herring. Anyway, yes, this is how in the current edition things happen. True. The new edition maintains these incentives of risk and reward, but takes a new route to emphasize flavor and flexibility. An army now comprises one or more regiments. Okay, we're learning. We gotta get this in the noodle. Get out the 3rd edition stuff, forget it forever, and put the 4th edition stuff in there. An army now comprises one or more regiments. All right, every army must have at least one regiment and can only take a maximum of 5. Okay, max 5 regiments. Brutish Orc. Thanks for the big prime for 20 months. I appreciate it. TY. All right, and then conceivably this is a regiment they're showing us a picture of. Each regiment is led by a single hero and can include up to 3 other units or 4 if it's your general's regiment. Okay. Oh, okay, so we're kind of compartmentalizing armies and making heroes a little bit more of the star of the show. I think thematically, cinematically, that's kind of nice. I'm concerned for armies that don't really want to play with their heroes because they all suck, but they did say that they were going through all the war scrolls and rebalancing them and reimagining them, so I hope they do a good job with that. These regiments represent their retinues, warbands, and chosen warriors who accompany a leader into battle. So every hero lists which units they can include in their regiment as part of their battle profile. Okay, so now you're like, ooh, I want to play with this units, but the hero sucks, and so that's the trade-off. Okay, so we're going to get a lot of that stuff going on. All right. Yo, I wonder if... No, stop me if they talk about this later. I wonder if we're... What if the buffs you issue out as a hero just simply land on everybody in your regiment? And there's no, like, wholly within bullshit wasting time. You're just like, you do this, everybody in that regiment gets it, and then move on with our lives in an effort to streamline playing the game, get it under 3 hours. That could be kind of interesting. I wonder. Long War TV, thanks for the first time chat. Heywoah, sounds like Conquest rules from Parabellum A. I have no idea what that is. If so, I don't know, maybe. I don't know what that is. In the case of Luminoth Realm Lords, for instance, the Venari Bannerblade can include any Venari units in their regiment, while an Alarith Stone Mage can be accompanied by their signature Alarith units. Okay, so Bannerblade can include any Venari. Alarith can include any Alarith. Along with Venari Orlan Wardens, who form the common core of many Lumineth forces. Okay, so you can put those in different places. Unique faction leaders like Archmage Texas can often be accompanied by any units from their faction. In rare cases, some powerful heroes can even include other heroes in their regiment. For example, the mighty Lord of Khorne, who can be accompanied into battle by Gore-chosen heroes. Okay, sick. Cool. This tends to result in armies that are much more thematic. true. That seems to be what you are trying to accomplish with this. I noticed that even before you mentioned it. Good work. With each hero accompanied by the kinds of troops you'd expect to see at their sides. Yeah, okay. Alright. Yeah, hero hammer regiments that are, like, themed to them. That sounds rather nice, actually. 1 to 5 regiments. Must pick 1 hero to be your general, so you can have up to 5 heroes-ish. 1 hero. 0 to 3. Oh, so you can. So one of your regiments can just have only the hero in it and 0 guys. I wondered about that one. Non-hero units. Some hero units will allow the addition of extra heroes to their reinforced double points cost and unit size. Okay, we're keeping reinforcing doubling, but no double doubling. I don't know if anyone necessarily actually did that. Zombies did a little bit, maybe somebody else did, but yeah, double reinforcing was pretty uncommon. And if it's the type of army that would do that, maybe they get a special rule to be able to do that in the future. We're not sure. Every unit within a regiment deploys together as a single drop. So we still have the battle regiment thing. It's just everything's a battle regiment now, which was one of their options. Reasonable. Very reasonable. You can reinforce most non-unique units with more than 1 model, and while there is no longer any limit on the number of units you can reinforce, and I don't think anyone ever hit that limit in general, you may no longer... Oh, no double stuffing your Oreos, huh? Okay. Otherwise, the restrictions of the current edition are gone. Good. I like all of this. Yeah, we keep battle regiment, but everything's a battle regiment now. And so you still have that risk-reward, push and pull little metagame. They're balanced against each other. Because I don't know who wrote that originally, but they're like 1-drop battalion. So you can choose who goes first. Or once a game, as a command, you can have a run roll be a 6. It's like, you think those are equivalent? Unbelievable, right? Anyway. You like the idea from a painter's sense. Yeah, and this game is a little more painterly, isn't it? You know? The tension of knowing what the next rule is and waiting for Heywoah to reach it and realize the implication. Uh-oh, okay, well, hold up. You like this now, but when only Hussguards can bring Stonehorn Beast Riders, you're going to be sad. Well, that just depends on whether they do a shit job writing my battle tome / index or not. It's not a problem with the core rules. That's a problem I hope to avoid by them doing a good job instead of a bad job on my index / battle tome. You know what I mean? The framework sounds good. The follow-through is, well, we'll just see, you know? Yeah, no more 30 squad of Nurgle Chaos Warriors. You're going to have to chill with 20, which are still just about invincible. I think you'll be fine. You can still take 10 Chosen, we're good, right? That's the real thing. As long as you can still take 10 Chosen, we're good. The Chads of Chaos. Every unit with a regiment deploys together a single drop. I read this already. Otherwise, the restrictions of the current, there's the big dog here, the half-pounder, battle cattle. Yeah, no 15-man Chaos Knights or 9 Vanguard, no 1100-point giant mega blobs. Battlefield roles such as Battle Line, Behemoth, or Artillery are a thing of the past. Good. Yeah. I don't bear any strong, ooh, we have to have this stuff. Sure. Get rid of it. What are you doing with it? Explains product developer Ben. Once you've got a hero as your general, you have a ton of flexibility in how you build your roster. If you want to build a list that's just a single hero and a swarm of doom wheels, just zoom in. We won't stop you. Or me. If you want one Frostlord and 6 Stonehorn Beast Riders just driving monster trucks around the table. Talking about Sunday. You can buy the whole seat, but you only need the edge. We will not stop you. But it will have an impact on the game because anything that isn't in a regiment has to be an auxiliary unit. What does that mean? Auxiliary units offer a way to pick additional units from your faction outside the confines of a regiment. Hold on. I'm catching a whiff right now. I'm catching a scent on the wind of haves and have-nots. All right, we found them. There are no limits on how many auxiliaries you can take, but there's a cost. Each auxiliary unit is deployed one at a time as a single drop, and you'll get out-dropped. All right. Player with the fewest auxiliaries in their roster gets 1 extra command point at the start of each battle round. Oh, double. Oh, damn. So not only will you not get to choose who goes first, but you also are at -1 command point. Double punished. Double punished. And if your army is one of the lucky ones whose regiments just have everything in them, congratulations, here's your blue ribbon. And if your army, all the good units are just chilling as auxiliaries because fuck you, well, eat shit, bitch. Right. All right, well, hopium, copium, whatever you want to call it, we'll see. Apparently doom wheels are already fucked because they mention it here. Here's hoping for the monster trucks in my faction. These are a crucial resource in the new edition and scarcer than before. Command points. Okay. Our OBR once again. I am once again asking you not to invalidate OBR's entire rule set for half of an edition. One can only hope. Feels like the Johnny tax. Yes, it is. It's the you got creative with list building tax, or the designers put all your good units in weird shitty regiments that you don't want to play in, and you suffer because of it, you know. We'll see. We shall see. Player 1, 4 drops. General's Regiment, Augs. And then 5 drops. Triple Augsies. +1 command point per battle round. Well, at least it doesn't give you -1. It gives them +1. That's not as bad. You know, player 2 ain't looking so good. I don't feel so good, Mr. Player 1. Man. Outdrops him and gets a command point. It has never been more important to be low drops ever. It seems. Okay, well, I mean, that's the meta. That's how you play it. Yeah, the regiments are pre-made for each hero. Supposedly your unique named ones can put anything in them. Up to 4 things, I think, as I read it. Command points are a scarce resource this edition. There isn't a single war scroll or faction ability in the game that gives you additional points. So far. I wonder, do we want to start an office pool? How long, not even will they, how long will it take them to write a battle tome that gives you additional command points? How long will it take? How many months? Because it's not a question of whether or not they will. They obviously will. They always break rules like this as they write the books. Yeah. By number 4, you think the 4th, by the 4th battle tome? Okay. Post about it in Discord. I'll make a big office pool for it. And we'll see. Historically speaking, they can never help themselves. They just can't. And when they do it once, they can't help but do it every single time and steal that once unique thing so that it's no longer unique and everyone just has it. We'll see. Then again, explains Matt, which is pertinent because Matt Rose, who I know on a personal level because I met him at Starbucks and shook his hand, so we hang, you know, we're cool like that. That was before Matt the Body Rose was in charge of things, so maybe this is different. Highlighting the value of sticking to your regiments. We've tried to keep army composition as open as possible to reflect the diverse array of forces found in the mortal realms, implementing soft incentives to push your armies that are thematic and maintain a healthy mix of units and heroes. Okay. All right. Hot take, they can never break this rule. They just give you heroes CA for free to use. Oh, that'll count. If you can issue for free, legalese, technicality, I'm counting that. That counts. Now that I'm looking at this, there'll be a hero where you can issue for free, and since it pushes up glasses, technically, it didn't give you an additional point. It let you use one for free. That's different. Okay. Okay, I see. I see how this works. Anyway, on top of your regiments, you'll also be picking your subfaction. Let's go. I like subfactions. I like them better in 2nd edition, but I still like them as a concept. These are now called battle formations. Oh, okay. Which have been refocused around the fighting style of an army rather than their specific background. So we lose a little bit of lore here, which I don't like. But game mechanically, I like it focusing on a fighting style rather than whatever keyword box you happen to have purchased, you know? I like this. Gameplay-wise, I like this a lot. Because a lot of the times, especially in 3rd, your subfaction was basically, you bought Yetis. So here's the Yeti subfaction. You bought Mournfang. Here's the Mournfang section, right? Subfaction. And in that case, it kind of was like, all right, wasn't really a choice. I rather like this. It's sad to see a little bit of the lore, the world building kind of go. But you can still put that in there. If the game is better, I guess I don't care. And this does sound kind of nice. You know? Ooh, I'm going to take the Alpha Strike subfaction, but I want to do it with Gutbusters. Ooh, I want to take the blood casting, culinary caster faction, but I want to do it with Mournfang. Like, that's kind of neat. Sure, I think I like this. Other important aspects of army building are also sticking around, including artifacts of power and heroic traits, which is probably what they, used to be called command traits. But they overused the word command, just how they overused the word wound, and so they're chilling on that, and that's fine. Heroic traits. As well as spell lores, prayer lores, and the shiny new manifestation lores. Ooh, what could that mean? Surely this is what endless spells will become, right? Endless spells and prayers? They're rethinking the entire endless spell, endless prayer system so that they don't cost points and they're just like a force that your army gets to manifest that's free, kind of like a terrain feature. I'm inventing this out of whole cloth right now. But what I'm inventing with no source. Oh, here's my source.
Why don't you back it up with a source?
My source is that I made it the fuck up.
Anyway, I'm liking what I'm manifesting right now. It came to me in a dream. Cool. I like everything I've read. Man, this is just... I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. All this 4th edition stuff. I read it. It sounds good. I need to know more. You can't really know until you've seen everything, but, damn, everything I'm reading I just like. Summoning? Hopefully there's none in the entire game. I hope summoning is simply gone. They tried for a long time to balance that, and it's never really great. It's either too good or kind of useless, and philosophically speaking, if you have a 2,000 point army, I think you should buy 2,000 points of stuff. I don't like people having to buy 2,600 points of stuff if their army is a summoning army. I like them to buy 2,000 points of stuff. I'm trying to keep costs down. Games Workshop, for all the raging against Games Workshop greedy capitalism, has so far been moving in that direction, actually. Armies have gotten a lot smaller. You have to buy less. They keep getting rid of and toning down summoning, so you have to buy less. Kind of nice with it. Let's check the War Scrolls, because now we're getting into the meat of it. Big meat. The anatomy of a War Scroll in the new edition of Warhammer Age of Sigmar. This is going to tell me a lot. Ahem. 40k has been increasing models, points going down, price increases. You hope AOS doesn't go through this. Yeah, every edition of AOS, the armies have been getting smaller, especially from first edition. That's a nice trend, man. I hope points go way up. Again. Since they're redoing all the War Scrolls anyway. Do you think the amount of 3D printing has an effect on that? I don't think so.
Relaxing. Kind of invigorating.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Everybody doesn't appreciate it like we connoisseurs do.
Oh, like we connoisseurs do. Steely, thanks for the $8 on Patreon. Be warned. I don't give people anything for my Patreon, and I explicitly advertise it as such. So if you want to undo that payment, by all means, do what you will. But anyway, I appreciate it regardless. What was I saying again? Oh, the 3D printing thing. Do you think that the amount of 3D printing has any effect on that? No, not really. I don't think that's a competitor to them. I don't even think other war games are truly a competitor to Games Workshop. They're too big for that. 3D printing is such a... I know all of your friends 3D print. All my friends are 3D printing. I know that to you. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not even a blip on the radar. To them. Is the impression that I get. Now, when you become a business, sure, or like a recaster or something, yeah, but... some individual guy spending $1,000 whatever dollars getting a 3D printer, figuring out how to use it, buying some resin, printing out a kind of shitty version of something, and then sanding it down, and then making a Games Workshop army out of it over the course of a month or something, you know, whatever. It's a lot of work. It ends up being about the same amount of money after all. Unless you're really just churning out army after army after army, even then, nah. The whole point of Age of Sigmar, or really Warhammer, is you buy it. I buy the box. The quality level is extremely high. It's better than 3D printed anything. And it's got injected plastic. It's great plastic. You put it together, and it looks great. I don't have to do any of that 3D printing stuff. I'm kind of paying for the... what do you call it? I'm paying not to have to worry about any of that stuff. It's fine. Anyway, the War Scroll has been a mainstay of Warhammer Age of Sigmar since the first days of the first edition. They've evolved with each edition, but they are still one of the most recognizable parts of the game. Yeah, convenience, there you go. That was the word I was thinking of for some reason. Things have changed, once again, for the new edition. And these changes tie into the new modularity of the... I don't care about the modularity. Everything a unit can do is now an ability. And these are clearly labeled, color-coded, and symbol-coded to demonstrate exactly which phase of the game each ability is used in. How nice! Good. They hired a graphic designer. And they're like... can we show this to the player in a way that makes it just really easy to parse while playing? Nice. This is like the cheat sheet that you would write to yourself, except they're doing it. Kind of nice. What gives you the best support? YouTube, Patreon, or Twitch? Honestly, do whatever. I appreciate the help regardless. YouTube gives me a higher percentage on subscriptions than Twitch does, but they're both good for like metrics and stuff, so I appreciate it in any case. On Twitch, the donate button goes directly to like a PayPal donate thing, so I get the highest percentage of your dollars from that. But really, it's just any interaction from whatever works for numbers and algorithms, and I get a few bucks out of the deal, and I just appreciate it. Anyway, appreciate. The system is the key that unlocks the whole game. Even basic universal actions, such as moving and fighting, are now shared abilities listed in the core rulebook, asterisk. While every war scroll has at least one ability unique to them, which help define each unit's battlefield role. Oh, shit. Let's go. Okay. Look at the humongo double quarter pounder fucking poundo hammers. The mega meat slappers these dudes have. Shit. Pestering Pickle, thanks to the 5 tier 1s on Twitch. I appreciate it. Wow. Oilcast Gifternal. TY for gifting 5 tier 1 subs to the community. I appreciate it. So here's the wheel. It looks like Bravery has been replaced with Control.
Pop? Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, I'm doing a pop yeah on this one. Could it be? Because last time we went over the news last week. Earlier this week? Question mark? No, last week. I heard that Battle Shock and Bravery were going away. And I was so happy. Because that's correct. It's the right decision. And I was hoping that they would not replace it with some stupid ass 40k you can't capture rule or just some other, it's fine. You don't need to represent Bravery in every war game. I don't think it really fits here, you know? In a more simulation style war game, it should be really important. But in this one, it's more of a Marvel superheroes fighting against each other and Thor versus, you know, whoever. It's more fantastical. Having it just be Control 1, I'm assuming this means Capture 1. I'm assuming it means Capture 1. This lends credence to me thinking that the Battle Shock and Bravery stuff is going away. Cool. Good. Once again, Ogre Battle Trades get stolen by everybody else. Hey, well, true, but luckily for me, it's one I don't care about, for the most part. Gutbusters capturing 2 isn't really a big deal. Beast Claw stuff capturing 10 is a huge deal. And it caused a bunch of wins. It allowed me to win a bunch of games in 2nd edition and 3rd edition. It's fine. I don't mind. We've had this for a while for a few armies for several years. A few editions. Health 2 instead of wounds. We're calling it health now. I think that's a fine change. 3-up save. It's in green. Interesting. Is it green because the 3-up save is good, or are they always green? That's my question. If it's a 5-up save, is it like brown poop-ass color because it's a bad save? I wonder. Yeah, the game is so lethal, stuff just dies anyway. And that's their design intention. Since 1st edition, they're clearly one of their design philosophies for Age of Sigmar would be that it's a crazy deadly game. If you fight, you usually just atomize your opponent. And that's what they want. They want a fast game where you just blow the other person up if you're the one that gets to fight them first. And that makes for a dangerous, heavy risk, heavy reward style game that I rather like, for the most part. 5-inch move. Warhammer, 3s and 3s, 1/1. Crit mortal. Okay, so 6s proc a mortal wound. Crit mortal. I'm going to have to look it up. I wonder if crit mortal is instead of or in addition to. I wonder what this keyword will mean. Hopefully it's in addition to. I don't have any basis for that. I'm just kind of hopeful. And then the Grand Hammer, which 1 out of 5 models can have. Cool. The champion cannot replace their weapon. Everyone in the game whose champion is modeled with a special weapon, which is every single person in the planet, by the way, your model is modeled wrong. Oof. Collector oof. Okay, well, that's fine. Not you. Are you OBR by any chance? Perhaps Night Haunt? There are a few squads around who didn't want to do that for various reasons. Yes, you are. All right. You are OBR? Mm-hmm. Hey, Natterite's important, kids. Anyway, damage 2 crit mortal. Stalwart Defender's passive. Oh, and it says whether it's passive or activated. Ooh, alright. The more we can steal from magic, kinda, the better. Oh, damn. Hey, thanks for the first time chat and the follow. I appreciate it. Effect. Add 3 to this unit's control score. Well, it's contesting an objective wholly within friendly territory. Oh, add 3 to it. So the control is 4. I'm assuming it's per model. That's a big ass increase. That's a big ass control increase. I guess I have nothing to relatively compare it to, but it seems big. Cool. Yeah, and so since we're getting rid of battle line. Oh, it says per unit. Where does it say that? Oh, true. This unit's control score. Well, it could be that the definition of a unit's control score is the amount that each model within that unit can score. I think it's still kind of up in the air. They could explain it like that. I'm just thinking about it. So I think it still could be either way on that one. It would be confusingly worded in that way. But yeah, I'm sure they define all of these parts later in the article and we'll get to it. But I'm just jamming on this. They're getting rid of the battle line roll. And so you got to give... These aren't chaff, so you can't call them that. But you got to give what would be battle line a reason d'etre. And having big-ass control on your home objectives is a reasonable thing to do. That makes sense to me. Chaff, they have their own jobs that they're good at besides. So, anyway. Yo, kind of nice. I like all the stuff that I'm reading. Hippity-hoppity, get off my property. True. Jengeru. Thanks for the first time chat. Seems like the unit's control score is different than the model. Explain later. All right, well, I'm going to read about it then. Didn't Liberators used to have the Redeemer keyword? Looks like that went away. We got Infantry Champion. Order Stormcast Eternal's Warrior Chamber. Yeah, let's simplify a little bit of that. That Redeemer, Paladin stuff. A few of the factions leaned a little too heavy on a million keywords. Bingo, if you will. Lumineth for sure, Stormcast maybe, Gitz maybe. If you're going over every war scroll, now's the time to make things a little more elegant, right? And plus, we're going to be adding to these keywords, probably depending on whichever sub-faction we choose, maybe even whichever regiment we choose, so it's going to get them back in some way. Firebelly keyword gone? I hope that model's gone. Get it out of here. The move characteristic determines how quickly the unit can move across the battlefield. Word. No way. I mean, they have to explain everything. That's fine. The health characteristic determines how many damage points can be allocated to a unit before a model in that unit is slain. Refusing to do the health bar go down thing. Still, they're sticking to it. Just like before, you have a unit, has X amount of life, and you place damage counters on it until it dies. Just like in Magic with damage, actually. We're still counting up. Counting up is still the officially correct way to play. Okay. I actually don't care. I just, whichever way is the way that they want you to do, I'll just do that. Fine. I don't care. The control characteristic determines how well each model in the unit can contest. So that means what I said before was true. Yeah, it's this unit's control score, but what control score means is each model in that unit. So what I thought was correct. And that means each of these hammer slingers are just hog slinging 4 entire control per druid. Alright, good. Big. Perhaps that's a job they can do. You will continue to count down in all your games like a moron. I mean, you can do whatever you want as long as it's consistent and your opponent knows, then I don't think anyone could really care, right? Yeah, 5 Liberators counts as 20 dudes. That's 2 Stonehorns. I like how our stoichiometry over here is... You know the meme where, like, science, popular science educators, they can't just say distance? They think Americans are so stupid that they can only measure distance in school buses and football fields. You know? That meme. For you, chat, to me, it's like, that's 2 Stonehorns. Heywoah wouldn't understand it unless the unless the value was that of like a Stonehorn or a Mournfang or something, or a burger. How many bullets is that? How many burgers? You measure in eagles per oil war? Yeah, exactly. Give it to me in burger stand units. In fat clap-a-shoot units. Control score is the sum. Yeah, I read that. Yeah, we're good. I know what sum means. I'm not that American. I'm pretty American. I was born in Wisconsin and handed a shotgun and an orange hat at birth. But I know what sum means. We're there. I got there. Anyway, the save characteristic determines how well armored the unit is. This characteristic is the roll you need to equal or exceed to save a model from a harm. So a lower value is better. True. And then unit type, keywords. Weapons the unit is armed with. Weapons are either melee weapons used to make combat attacks or ranged weapons used to make shooting attacks. Each weapon has its own characteristics. And then any special abilities. Okay. You can equip these liberators according to Twitter with hammer and shield or double hammer. But their stat line is the same. Confirmed by intern who writes on GW's Twitter. Their stat line is that they're exactly the same. You can just have them have shields if you want them, if you think that looks cooler, or you can have them with double quarter pounders if you think that looks cool, but they have the same stats. Good. Good. You know, AOS is your more hobby-focused game. What you see is what you get. Get out of my face. Make your guys look cool. Agree. True. Explode emoji. Yep. I agree. Great work. We did it. Oh, you got the double quarter pounder? Yeah, because they're hammers. You got it. A little tenderizing. Yeah, I saw the double shield on Twitter. That was a good one. I should have thought of that one. The dual wielding shields one. Despite the change to unit abilities, the information contained on the new Warscroll is actually mostly very similar to the previous iterations. The unit title, for instance, remains entirely the same, while the characteristics emblem still contains 4 stats. Move, which is unchanged. Health, which is the current wound stat, changed for sense purposes. Sense purposes. Sense purposes. Alright. I know what you mean. Save, which is unchanged. Control, which replaces bravery, good, and functions as a measure of how able a unit is to hold objectives. Ableist? Somebody cancel them. A unit's control score is the sum of its characteristic from all models in the unit contesting an objective. Great. Ooh, I like this. This is great. Thank goodness you caught up before Heywoah got to the big guy. Yeah. Subtle implication that games that use wounds like 40k are nonsense. Haha, got him. All right. I suppose because it's sense purposes, and so a game that uses wounds is, I guess, nonsense, right? Gee, Billy, how come your mom lets you wield 2 shields? Get with it, Billy. Likewise, the keywords banner on the bottom remains the same, although important gameplay keywords have been moved onto their own line. Okay, yeah, important gameplay keywords like infantry and champion. Nice. We also have a word for infantry. That's great. Ahem. Also, for anywho, no attack range. We knew this already, but here's an omission. No inches, no attack range. We knew that was going away, but alright. Supposedly, everybody within 3 just gets to fight. Fuck it. If you're in combat, you fight. Let's move on with our lives. I got places to go, people to see. Pipkin Pippa's streaming after this game. We got to get to it. Win or lose, I'm out of here. He's going to talk about Florida Man and watch cars crash on the highway. I got to see that shit. Anyway, what was I talking about? Weapons have seen a few subtle changes, but they still function in more or less the same way. In melee, 5 key attributes function as before. Attack, hit, wound, rend, and damage. Though they've all been carefully rebalanced for the new edition and better reflect each unit's miniatures, lore, and battlefield role. Okay. It was true that weapon profiles had kind of shrunk to be just write 3s and 3s for kind of everything. Just give them 3s and 3s. 3s and 3s 1-1 used to be known as a Stormcast attack profile, which meant you were very skilled using excellent weapons because of the rend, you know. And then as things went on and they wrote more Warscrolls, it became just the thing everyone had, right? So now we're pulling it back to earth, I guess. Liberators hit hard for basic troops, especially given their crit mortal ability. One of 7 universal weapon abilities. Only 7. Can we guess them? That's actually kind of a lot. 7 is actually kind of a lot of universal weapon abilities. That's cool though, right? So we got unmodified 6 counts as a critical hit, and this ability turns critical hits into mortal damage. That's not very simply written. Help. Does it do a mortal wound instead, or in addition to? It turns critical hits into mortal damage. Okay, no, actually, I take that back. I rescind my testimony. It turns it into, so it has to be instead. Matt Rose, I apologize. I got ahead of myself. Yeah, it turns it into. So let's try to guess what other universal weapon abilities there are. 6s do a mortal instead. 6s do a mortal in addition. 6s do an additional attack, maybe. 6s auto wound. I guess it doesn't always have to be on a 6, right? Yeah, exploding, which would mean an extra hit. Maybe life drain. Yeah, we got auto wound already. 1s make you explode. Special Skaven rule. Yeah. Do you think any of these reroll? Probably not, because they've been getting rid of all the rerolls for combat stuff because it's a huge time waster. Maybe double damage. Like double damage on a hit or something like that. Ignore armor. Well, that's what mortal wounds are. They just ignore armor, right? Anyway, however, while missile weapons still have range, albeit generally reduced, shorter range, huh? Every model can now fight within a 3-inch combat range in melee. Good. It's a simple change, but one that will streamline pile-ins and combat resolution. Yeah, it will. I think it's going to be a time saver. And, I was thinking ranks of fighting, which would need you to keep weapon ranges for single models. But if everybody can just fight within 3, then you don't need to make a special thing for single models. It's actually pretty elegant. Nice. Finally, there are redesigned abilities. Our Liberators have a fairly easy one, Stalwart Defenders, which helps them control your closest objectives. It's purple, which marks it out as an end-of-turn ability, while the circle symbol makes it a control ability. Oh, we got colors and shapes. So purple means end of turn, passive means passive, and circle. Yo, what does circle mean again? If they used words instead of fucking shapes, I would know, but I have to reference it now because they want to make translations cheaper. Circle means it's a control ability. Okay. They could have written the word control, but then they would have to pay a translator or just use ChatGPT. Can't have that. Gotta use colors and shapes. Annoying, but fine. This is fine. I'm not actually upset. Passive ensures that an ability happens automatically. Each phase and ability type has its own color and symbol. Start of turn hero, movement, shooting, charge, combat, EOT. War scrolls are so big you could write words, please. Anyway. Movement, offensive, defensive, Shutan, rallying ability. I was really hoping rally would go away, but time marches on. Special ability, control ability. Okay. All of these pictures are like pretty fucking obvious, right? It's fine. Obviously this means movement. The shield, good. Yeah, I wonder what type. It's defensive. This is all fine, you know. The only thing is this is special and this is control, which you'll learn after one game, you know. Manzek Miniatures, thanks for the 10,000. Oh, wait, you didn't give me anything. You spent your free double, all right, 10,000 double turns. Figure out Quarm, you coward. You sacrificed 2 meme ads for this. Any EverQuest players in chat? Why don't you go back in time? I don't like learning icons, even though these are all really obvious. I wish they just used words. On a magic card, you need to use symbols sometimes, because it's very small, but war scrolls are huge. I don't know. A little annoying, but I guess I don't care. I'm not about to make a video with a reaction face on it with red text. You find shooting offensive? You and almost everybody else who seems to play this game and use social media, as a matter of fact. Don't worry, it's not what you think, rallying ability. Good. Good. But that's a fairly simple war scroll. True. How does a complex one look? Say, one belonging to a god. Oh. Oziarch Bone Reaper's War Scroll Nagash, Supreme Lord of the Undead. Supreme Victory. Oh shit. Dude, I can't wait to go over this. Right after this. I guarantee it. Welcome back. Plowapitus. Thanks for the sub. For 6 months. While I was gone, let's get that Tawa Shoujo music back up. The Endless Loop. We got a... What do we got here? First time chatter. I was listening to this as background noise and heard any EverQuest players in the chat and snapped back to attention. Zakon05. You got some Death Fist slashed belts to turn in before they nerf it. Also, I'm in the tunnel. I got a pre-nerf moss-covered twig to sell ya. Any rubicite enjoyers? Anyway. How's that back? How those knees feeling? Heywoah, they changed Nagash's Warscroll in the new wound. Supreme Lord of the Undead presently only lets you restore half removed units models rounded up. The new one replaces the entire unit. Bro, I'm just about to read it. Thanks for the spoiler of a game piece, so I don't care actually. Hey, thanks a lot. Zakon05, thanks for the tier 1. Appreciate it. Move 10, save 3, also in green. Again, I wonder if it's always in green for the save characteristic, or if green just means it's a good save. And it's like brown if it's a shitty old 5-up or something like that. Probably always green, just for consistency, I imagine. But kind of interesting. Malarkey, thanks for the Prime Gaming. No more malarkey. There's the fucking Biden meme. Appreciate it, thanks a lot. And it's a new primer, thanks. 18 health, 10 move, 10 control. Yo, if Nagash is controlling 10, what are the Frost Lords at? What are King Broad and the big boys at? I wonder. Iconography, 4 3s and 3s, 2. Damage 6. Sorry, D6. We still got D6 damage. Sad. I kind of don't like the rind. This is a nitpick. I admit this, okay? Chill. But just as a kind of graphic design thing, if you have columns like this, what you have above it, attack, hit, wound, rind, damage, the line should proceed up and separate these words as well. And I need a little bit more room between these two, to be perfectly honest with you. Because like this thing over here and then just this over here, that's a little weird. They should proceed up and just separate everything in my IMO. The tiniest nitpick ever, but anyway, chill. Battle damaged passive. Oh, actually, huge. Hold up. No more damage table for a monster. Massive. A massive passive, if you will. Oh, Rob with the Giga emote. Good taste. Battle damage. Well, this unit has 10 or more damage points. Subtract 3 from its power level.
Twitch Prime.
I'm assuming power level is like casting. Some spellcaster thing. Great. I love this. Damage tables were just annoying bookkeeping. Have it be a one-time thing. It's wounded. Apply this. Good. Great. Like it. Tease 1 Eholic. Thanks for the Prime. Appreciate it. Please enjoy no ads. Okay, but what's the power level? It's 9,000. Or is everyone happy? R.I.P. Toriyama. Too soon. Passive. And this is the star, which means it's a special ability. And it's kind of a diarrhea hippie brown color, which means it happens in the hero phase. Let's check our shit. Also, I wonder if this orange is different enough than this gold for colorblind users, but also I guess it doesn't matter. They'll figure it out. The Staff of Power. Elegant Ash is capped with gems of purest grave sand effect. Add 2 to casting rolls for this unit while it has not miscast any spells this turn. Oh, ooh, okay. Different. If this unit miscasts a spell, ignore the restriction that would stop this unit from casting any more spells. Based Nagash. Oh, I miscast? You want an apology? I'll cast the rest of my spells whether you like it or not. Anyway, sweet. Also, when you cast 8 spells a turn, happened a lot. Once per turn army. End of any turn. Look at this. This is great. I love this. Once per turn, parenthetical army, meaning if for some, let's pretend there's a different war scroll, right? If you have 2 of these, you can still only do it once per turn army-wide. Great. Very nice. End of any turn, right? Not just yours. Putting that kind of information right on the heading, huge.
Please clap.
Please clap. This is good. I like all this stuff so far. Declare. Pick a visible enemy hero or monster in combat with this unit to be the target. Hand of Dusto. Hide a die in one of your... We're still playing the stupid hide a die game. That's fine. Alright, we're still playing the stupid game. It's a 50-50, no problem. Mike Scarborough, thanks for the tier 1. Clarity in a GW product? You sure this isn't an April Fool's joke? Yeah, is this an out of season? Also, Hand of Dust. Keyword Rampage. Keyword Rampage. This shit happens in the purple phase, which is the end of turn. Keyword Rampage. Not a spell. It just happens. Or under one of 2 appropriate containers. Yeah, just in case you don't have 2 hands, so you don't want to be ableist over here. Your opponent must pick one of your hands or containers. So if my opponent hides it in his hands, and I pick a container, what happens? Your opponent hides a die in one of his hands, and then I put a cup on the table. I pick the container. Anyway, if they pick the one hiding the die, this ability has no effect. If they pick the empty one, which the container I just put on the table is empty, we got 'em, boys. Big combo, big combo. The target is automatically destroyed. Oh, wait, shit. Oh, no, I'm a genius. Oh, no. I wonder what Rampage means. I found a combo to always die instantly. Back to the shelf. Anyway, once per battle, your hero phase. Nice. We're differentiating your or any, right? Good. The target is automatically destroyed. Good. Yeah, somebody mentioned it, Mechrad. Instead of saying that unit or that one or it, you know, which can be in a really long sentence, it could mean a lot of things, right? Or that one could mean a lot of things. It's the target. Good. Supreme Lord of the Undead. Declare. Pick a friendly non-hero, non-unique death unit that has been destroyed. Set up a replacement unit identical to that target. Not half, but the whole. Wholly within 12 of this unit and more than 9 from all enemy units. Just once per battle, your hero phase. Gimme. Cool. Big. The entire unit. Not half, right? Your hero phase. Invocation of Nagash. And then we have 7 over here. This is probably the, what? Target number for the spell? This unit can cast this spell more than once per phase. Pick a visible unit wholly within 18 of this unit that has not been picked to be the target of this spell this turn to be the target. Then make a casting roll of 2d6. Okay, so you choose targets and then you cast. Big difference from before. You used to see if the spell worked and you didn't have to tell your opponent what your target was. So there was a little bit of gamesmanship there. Are you going to try to unbind this? You don't know which one I'm targeting yet. Now it seems, if this one is similar to the others, you choose your targets first. And so your opponent gets more information out of you. Interdasting. Effect. If the target is an enemy unit, inflict D3. If it's a friendly unit, pick 1. Return a number of slain models with a combined health characteristic up to 3, or the target has ward 5 up until the starting next turn. 5 up ward? Big. So you cast a spell on yourself to give you ward 5. And then you can D3 however many people, and then you can return however many stuff. Okay, I see. Because didn't have a ward, naturally. I bet there's a lot less wards among Warscrolls in the game. I bet there's a lot less wards now that they've gone back. You know? Oh, never mind. Way down here in the keyword section, ward 5 up. Well, never mind. Forget what I said. There's twice as many wards as there was before. I'm kidding. Warmaster, unique, hero, monster, wizard 9. So 9 spells a turn, I think. Maybe 9 is the power level. I wonder what power level does. Fly, ward 5 up. Okay. Damn, that's a tiny little place to put the ward, but I guess ward is like whatever. Yeah, this is the keyword section. You don't need to describe what a ward is. Everybody knows, right? I see. Damn, it would be easy to miss that kind of thing down here. Yeah, it does make sense lore-wise for the 9 books of Nagash. I agree. It makes scouters explode, yeah. First time chatter. The returning models ability also works on all death units. Yes, it does. Which is probably because this guy's Warscroll is shared between all the death armies. I assume in the Night Haunt book it's going to be called Night Haunt Warscroll, you know? And they just didn't want to rewrite his ability each time, so it's just death unit. That makes sense. I still think there's going to be a lot less wards than before. But, I mean, gods will probably have wards. Alariel? Hello? Anyway. I wonder what a rampage is. Rampage sounds like a monster ability, but it's happening at end of turn and not the charge phase. Interesting. I wonder what's going to happen there. You can't not read R&D as random. Same. Attack, hit, wound, random damage. And it just... Yeah, I know. Same. Even though it belongs to the literal god of death, Nagash's Warscroll, like everyone else's, fits on one side of a card. He has several decisive abilities which affect the game in 3 separate phases. The Staff of Heywoah is a passive buff which greatly improves his spellcasting power during the hero phase. Yeah, I wonder what power level does. Is it a bonus to the roll? I don't think so, because we add 2 to casting rolls, and so that probably doesn't mean power level, otherwise it would say that up here, right? I wonder what power level means. We will figure it out later, I guess. R&D as a round? Yeah, because of D&D, or once per round, you know, for the spell lasts per 1 round per level, or something like that. You reckon its number of casts or unbinds? That could also be. It's got 9 here. Maybe it reduces it by 3. What I really like is how his movement doesn't go down as he gets wounded, which is stupid. I don't like that part, normally. Currently, he loses number of casts as he's damaged, so I think the best guess would be power level is number of casts or unbinds, probably. I suppose his movement could go down. There could be a core rule somewhere that says that for all monsters or something, right? Incredibly powerful ones for battle ability that can turn the tide of a conflict. R&D, research, and development, yeah. His signature spell is Invocation of Nagash, a flexible conjuration that can restore models, shield them from incoming damage, or deal damage to the opposition. Finally, Hand of Durst. Hand of Fred Durst. May be used in your turn or your opponent's. Ooh. Yours or your opponent's. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. This is an example of a new look rampage. Oh yeah, what is rampage? The vast majority of monsters now have a unique ability called out on their war scroll. You'll notice that various universal special rules such as Wizard, Fly, and Ward appear and have been standardized. Nice. Okay, so Monstrous Rampage has been moved from charge to the end of turn. They have to live through combat. They have to survive until the end of combat to do a Monstrous Rampage. Very interesting. I suppose there could be a Rampage that's colored orange or something. They have the design space for that, right? But rest in peace, Roar. You don't need Roar any longer, right? Because who knows what all-out defense does? Who knows what all-out attack does? You can retabulate any of that stuff. We'll see. It was the best of times. It was the Fred Durst of times. Yeah, they're not by definition locked to end of turn. It just happens to be what this one is, right? So, as you'd imagine, there's a huge scope of war scrolls that sits between humble soldiers and literal gods. But they all fit into the same space, and they all function exactly the same. We'll have more on Warhammer Age of Sigmar next week. Did we find out what the 7 is in the hero phase bar? Yes, I believe, to me, this because it's surrounded by all the winds of magic, I bet this is the target number you need to roll with the 2d6 casting. To just instantly see what number you got to get. And not look for it in a paragraph. It's just like, I got to get a 7. So my guess is that this is the target number for the cast. Which, good. Kind of nice. At a glance, you can tell, like, the most important information, which is, like, the number. I like these new war scrolls. I like a lot of the stuff. I think that, you know, Fly and Ward and stuff down here with keywords, I think it's maybe a little too small and out of the way. But, you know, people will just get used to looking there, and it's not a big deal. The only other thing I wish attack hit Windrind had lines that go all the way up to further differentiate them. And maybe a little more space. You got a lot of real estate here. You could just write Rend, you know? Or just give it some more space or something. But these are like nitpicks. I like all this stuff. Control, passives, saying, color coding what phase they're happening in. That's really useful. Yeah, they're trying to standardize for somebody with the hooves of rack and ruin, you know, written out for this long-ass name for their weapons and stuff. Yeah, I know. And then also has a huge ability. They're trying to give themselves enough space. And, you know, people will get used to reading it eventually. So I suppose not a big deal. I like it. Ception, thanks for the $10 on YouTube. I love this Nagash, simplified but still godly, annoying stuff removed, no unbind bonus, magic armies can play against him, no self-healing, you can grind him down, no hand of dust through portals. Well, he will probably have access to all the spell lores of your army, so there may just still be a bunch of self-healing, who knows. But overall, I agree, I like it. Feels godly. Once per battle, return an entire unit back to life. One spell that has a lot of different uses. Cool. Hand of Dust happening on both hero phases. Sorry. On both players' turns is what I meant. Big. Simplifying the monster damage table is a big one. You may not care about that, but in my army of only monsters, it's fucking annoying. To always look up, okay, wait, so this one charts differently than the hero version. Was it 6 damage or 7? I'm looking forward to only caring about one number, you know, that's nice. Yeah, and they got rid of his spiritual things, which is like 8 attacks, 4s and 4s, that you were just looking for 6s anyway, you know? Macrat, I appreciate them it looks like, you know how simplifying, rather, when people say they streamline rules, there's like a good way of streamlining and then like a bad way of streamlining. The bad version of streamlining is oversimplifying, and the good way of streamlining is like making it elegant and be faster and snappier, but you don't really lose much. So far as I'm reading, this is all the good type of streamlining, I think. Did you bust the things with the 50 bucks? Fucking huge, dude. I appreciate the big donation. I appreciate your appreciation. Massive YouTube dono. Yo, I can click like. Hold up. I can click like on these. I'm clicking like on all the people who... sorry, I'm new to YouTube live streaming. Yo, I can click like. Let's go. I'm gonna click heart, too. Yo, when he gave me $50, I clicked like. I clicked heart. Big. Big. This one's doing numbers, yeah. You know, I'm a big proponent of getting rid of useless attacks, so we love to see. In general, yeah, I, for the most part, want to getting on with it. There is a point at which you can oversimplify, right? But, as I'm reading this stuff, okay. I hope there's still tons of cool stuff and complexity in the battle tomes, though. I hope. I hope those aren't, like, mega simplified. I still want armies to have all sorts of unique, cool, interesting choices and extra abilities and stuff. I hope that's the case. I imagine that indexes will probably be really simple, but I'm still hopiuming that they won't be. Armedian, you can't believe Heywoah gave the 50 dono Reddit gold. Here's your doots. Here's your updoots, kid. You predict a bunch of 10th ed people will say this will suck because it sucked in 10th. I mean, it could. For sure could. It's the same company, but it's different department. The people working on Age of Sigmar rules, as far as I know, are different than the people who work on the 40k rules. Possibly not even in the same building or whatever. Like, they're different. And Matt Rose is in charge of all this stuff now, as of all the 4th edition stuff they've been working on for the past 2, maybe 3 years. So they could have, you know, if they fucked it up in 10th ed, they may or may not fuck it up in AOS. They're different people. We will see. Hoping with Bone Splitters gone, they don't leave orcs with less sub-factions. I hope each one is really arguably playable, right? If there's 6 choices and only one is good, and if there's 3 choices and only one is good, that's the same thing, you know? Every choice you write in a book, have it be worth your own time writing it, your own ink cost printing it, and my own time reading it. That's all I ask, which has so far not been possible, basically, for any book for the entire game. Hoping for that one. Now, each game borrows from each other for sure. Yeah, Crypt Shadow and Melkrat are pointing stuff out. Yeah, each game has concepts and ideas that are sort of beta testing for the other game. And so they can take those from a high level. It's how you implement them that, you know, matters. So, yeah, sub-factions will now be called battle formations, as we learned. True and big. Is that it? Do I have any other news to go through? Damn, we did 2.5 hours of just news. Huge. You don't really see that much of a difference with sub-factions and formations. What they said, anyway, was it's going to be more about fighting style and less about, like, the race or the creature type that they're talking about. So they might functionally be the same at the end of the day, but just not be keyword locked anymore. If they wanted to change virtually nothing, it would be basically the same rules, except it doesn't force you to play with whatever Yetis if you don't want to, or something like that. In which case, good. That's great. You know? And if they want to try even harder, well, sure. But even the baseline, doing just technically what they said, I like that. So... Joe Franklin, hey, thanks for the 10 Heywoah memberships on YouTube. I appreciate it. Thanks for your generosity. So generous. I didn't have anything else planned today, chat, besides reading all the news and talking about video and stuff. Let's go for a walk, shall we? Let's chill. You probably went to work today. You got anything to talk about? Otherwise, I'm just going to talk about all this 4th edition stuff that I'm kind of excited about while we go on a little walk. This is the interactive part of the stream, you know? Videos are for scripts, but live, now we get to chat. Shadery TV. Maybe part of what bothers you about battle formations is that formations is like wedge and... Oh, you're talking about the nomenclature. Yeah, I mean, true. Battle formation is literally like how they're standing and what if they make a diamond shape or a mighty duck shape or something like that. Yeah, I mean, fair enough. The name Legion of Blood or Cabalists, I bet they're keeping their funny names. And it's just the mechanical implementation that's changing. I bet Shaderoo. I bet they're keeping the funny lore names. They probably can't help themselves, if I'm honest. CG Busta, thanks for the 10 Heywoah memberships. Also, Joe Franklin, welcome to the Heywoah Enjoyers on YouTube. Thanks a lot. Yo, Shaderoo TV, by the way, a fellow streamer, sometimes paints Age of Sigmar stuff, otherwise plays games that I like. Bro, they changed the thing you sign up to. You got to get on YouTube simulcast. YouTube and Twitch at the same time. You got to get into this. This shit's hot. You got to do this. Put some of that pirate goo sailing the seas of YouTube as well. Anyway, thanks for the generosity. I really appreciate it. 4th looks very exciting, and the single blight is GW not knowing how to talk to people and embittering us all with the squatting. Yeah. However, they warned us 1 year ahead of time. If they had to cut the lines, and they probably had no choice, some business suit guy at the very top of the company probably just told them to. And so what the fuck can they... Alright, I guess I have to do that. They're warning us a year ahead of time. It's more than I would have expected, as sad as that sounds to say. You've been meaning to do it? Yeah? Okay, first of all, it's a fucking pain in the ass. It's a pain in the goddamn ass to set this shit up. YouTube fucking sucks. To set up in the back end. You guys can't see it, but it's real annoying. However, once you get it working, it's worth it. Anyway, no hate. For one, people like watching on their phones. The YouTube app apparently works a lot better than Twitch, first of all. Hey, so you're very new to AOS, says JP Artspace. What are people talking about with this other part of Dark Elves getting their own faction? Oh, you mean the foot hero. And I say foot hero both definitions. She ain't got no socks on. It's just introducing a little story thing. It's Marathi is the god of Daughters of Cain. She's a demigod, everybody worships her, but there are apparently rival priests and stuff trying to do their other thing. It's too much with the both music playing. Apologies about that. Anyway, I forgot the old music was still playing. Anyway, it's a rival cultist kind of thing. You can build your army however you wish. They're just kind of filling out Daughters of Cain to have to be more than a monolith, I suppose, which is fine. You can choose your one. We trying YouTube over Twitch experimenting? No, I'm doing both. Twitch changed its TOS. And so they allow you no longer have an exclusivity agreement. So I can stream wherever I want. As such, Twitch and YouTube. Double dipping the chicken nugget into a flute of champagne. While my wife's boyfriend gets to buy a new boat. See you guys on the moon, right? Anyway, testing it out. Your autistic ears are very happy. Yeah, apologies. I can't. My volume's really low. It's louder for you. I didn't hear it right away. One of the things you mentioned earlier, the army composition changes are super nice for BCR. You aren't shoehorned into playing foot heroes for no reason for battalion purposes. Yeah, I mean, I might be anyway for regiment abilities, or regiment reasons, I should say. I mean, we'll just have to see. I won't know anything. I can only think of what the implications could be. And they could be real good. So until we see the scrolls, I can only say, you know, the framework, the skeleton of the things that we have learned so far about 4th. I basically like all of them. My only concern is that comeback mechanic. I wonder how they'll do that one. But everything else has just been fucking banger. Slam dunk. Home runs. Getting rid of bravery. I didn't think they had the chutzpah. I didn't think they had the fucking balls to do that. Very brave of them, you know, to get rid of bravery. It was the right choice, game design wise. I didn't think they had it in them to do it. Matt Rose, fucking Chad. Matt Rose based ? I'm gonna do a video maybe. Maybe I do a video. It's gonna have yet another Matt Rose head photoshopped on bodybuilder, you know, body. The man who saved Age of Sigmar. Stock price going up, green arrow, golden Chad everywhere. We'll see. We'll see about it. We talked about the newish Liberator. Yeah, we talked about that. I like it. I don't like the nose thing. I think the nose thing kind of ruins it, but everything else is very nice, and you can scrape that off or do whatever you want for helmets, so it's actually no big deal. Here, if you're down by at least 3 points going into turn 5, you get a blue shell. I hope it's nothing like that. I don't want people to be technically losing on purpose as the ideal way to play until the end. I really hope it's nothing like that. That's my only concern, really. The recent 4th news has rejuvenated your interest in AOS since mid-3rd. Yeah, I detected, for the most part, all over the place. 3rd edition has been the excitement level has dispersed over the course of 3rd for a variety of reasons, which I won't get into. But it's nice to get some good news going into 4th, and now everybody's like hyped again. Ride the wave, you know? Let's get some hype. Sounds good. You did have discussed reading health printed sideways on a war scroll. All right, all right.